It is time to roar around the ring coming off of AEW Dynasty. That dude, Daryl Taylor, is here with me. I'm Justin Valentine. We also got WrestleMania coming up in just a few weeks in Vegas. But let's start with Dynasty in Philadelphia. The main event, the world title again. Jon Moxley on his Triple H run, retaining yet again, this time against Swerve Strickland, but this time the help of the Young Bucks. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson are back and helping Jon Moxley keep the world title. Does this inclusion of the Young Bucks help or hurt Moxley run for you?
It makes no sense to me.
Okay.
Just given off of what we last saw with them, like running from the Death Riders, and then we didn't know where their stance was as far as where is the hierarchy of power in the company.
Yeah.
The last two instances with them were what? Pile driving Tony Khan and running for the Death Riders.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we have this, which if we needed another reason to not like the Young Bucks, I mean, this was perfection, I guess.
Sure.
So answer the question. No, this doesn't, I don't like it. I hated the ending to this.
I want to give it a chance. And it sounds crazy with the Young Bucks and with AEW. And there's a very good chance I'm not going to like this. But I want to give it a chance because you got to remember the power the Young Bucks have within AEW. If done right, I'm okay with this. And there's a lot of people that are, comparing Jon Moxley's run. I know a lot of people don't like it, comparing it to Triple H's, reign of terror, as they called it, which I didn't dislike, by the way. There's plenty of people who took that title off of Triple H. Let's not act like he just buried everybody. But with Jon Moxley, I think I didn't dislike this as much. I did not expect Swerve to win this. So I think that's why my heart was not broken. I did not expect Swerve to win this. I felt like it would have been too predictable or too easy, I guess. Like he won it last year. He deserves it. Don't get me wrong. I didn't think they were going this route. I didn't think he had a chance is my point. He did 100% deserves it. I just didn't expect him to win this. The inclusion of the Young Bucks in a world where the Young Bucks, they're the ones, they have the power that they have. They basically sick Jon Moxley and the Death Riders on AEW, right?
Okay.
Like they have the control behind Moxley and the Death Riders. And this is why Moxley thinks he has so much control that he has, because he's working with the Young Bucks. In a world where that story is handled well, I don't hate it. Do I trust that Tony Khan and AEW are going to follow up on this and it's going to be great? I don't. And obviously I don't like the Young Bucks, but like you said, it gives us another reason to not like the Young Bucks. So if the Young Bucks are involved here, and this is a question we ask a lot about this Jon Moxley's run, and I'm going to bring it up again. Who is the final boss of this story? Is this swinging back around to Swerve? Is it the Owen Hart Cup winner? Is it Bryan Danielson coming back? Now that the Young Bucks are involved, to what extent we'll see, but where does this lead them?
Are they holding out that Darby Allin survives his trip to Mount Everest?
Darby Allin's not that guy either way, man.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like, if this is all, now I like Darby Allin, I'm a fan, but if we're leading to him, if all of this is leading to him, I really don't think this was necessary. Now, the other thing is the wild card, so to speak, is this for Bryan Danielson?
Right.
Which would make sense. It would make sense given everything that his last encounter with the Death Riders.
Right. I mean, the wild card, the first thought I had, maybe Bryan Danielson or Swerve. Huh? Swerve wasn't on the bracket because he was challenging for the title. Now that he got screwed, does Swerve enter, which would give us a Swerve Hangman Page match, by the way, again, for that tournament. I wouldn't hate that. For me, I've given up on the idea of this leading to Bryan Danielson. Not that he doesn't deserve it or anything like that. For me, it makes a ton of sense. Young Bucks involved or not, I actually thought this before, and I still think this. Will Ospreay winning the Owen Hart Cup. He is one of the top faces, right up there with Swerve. And at All In, obviously their WrestleMania, he defies the odds against Moxley and the Young Bucks. That's the route I would go. Not that I don't want to see Danielson come back. I know that makes the most sense, but not much with this story has made sense. So I've kind of given up on that frame of thinking and going to a Will Ospreay moment and giving him his world title moment in their biggest show of the year. I would sign up for that because Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher won their Owen Hart Cup matches. You mentioned the wild card, Brody King, Takeshita, Hangman Page, also in that tournament. The winner faces for the world title at All In. Who do you got winning that then?
It has to be Ospreay.
Yeah.
In my mind, it has to be, unless your wild card is Bryan Danielson, which I don't think that's who it's going to be. I honestly think your wild card, I don't think it's going to be him. I think that Ospreay has to be the guy that does this. And if you go to the biggest event with Ospreay in the title match,
yeah,
you can't repeat this nonsense where it somehow, some way Moxley retains again.
Right.
That has to be it.
I mean, at that point, because you're talking about July, if Ospreay wins this, which he should, and Moxley screws him over, then they are really waiting on Bryan Danielson, right? Because come September, that's going to be 1 year since Moxley officially turned on Danielson. So my other worry / thought is, are we really going to drag this out for Danielson to come back exactly 1 year later and have that be the story? And again, we've said this before, if we're waiting on Danielson or waiting on Darby Allin, do we realize the people we are burying along the way? Swerve Strickland goes and takes a loss. Hangman Page is red hot right now. He's not getting it. If Will Ospreay gets screwed over, we are burying some top talent to get to this story. Is it worth it though?
No, especially if it's Ospreay, because that is your guy. That is the guy of the company.
Right.
I mean, it's him and then Swerve and then, from down from there. But I don't see how much further you take this unless there's some crazy angle where it's like, oh, these people are involved in keeping the title on Mox. But it's like, but we've done this for so long now. Like, you either get to the point or you don't.
Right. Speaking of people that they kind of buried for Moxley, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, are we getting an E and C, but A and C? Reunion. FTR turning on Adam Copeland after they failed to win the trios titles. Your reaction to this move and what you expect from this moving forward?
My first thought is exactly what you said. We're getting him and Christian teaming up.
Yeah,
that has to be, and I don't mind it. It's cool for nostalgia purposes. I think a feud between ANC and FTR. It's a lot of alphabet going on there. I think it'd be good stuff. We'd get some pretty brutal matches.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun. The match itself, the turn, okay. I mean, it was fine. I do like the way they kind of swerved you, no pun intended, with it. Like, you didn't know it was gonna be both of them involved.
Yeah.
And then the double triple concerto, whatever they did. I thought it was a nice touch. The whole, like, the fake neck brace on the stretcher thing, like, it was good heel work. Yeah.
FTR plays phenomenal heels.
It's their lane.
It's their lane. No offense to Dax, but when he's a babyface and cutting the same promo every week about his family and everything, it's like, all right, dude, like, that's great. But they play great heels. I love FTR's heels, and you mentioned it, executed that heel turn perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't know if it was going to be both of them, if Dax was just going to lay him out. Shout out to Cash Wheeler, because he had me fooled. Yeah. He had a lot of people fooled. That was very well done. Yes, it should lead to an Adam Copeland, Christian Cage tag team. Don't put Jay White in there. Don't put anyone else. If you're going to do this, if you're going to put Adam Copeland against a tag team and you have Christian on the roster and you're not going to give him Christian, it doesn't make any sense. So for the moment, it does. Like, I want to roll with that. Big picture, no, it doesn't make sense because of what we've seen them go through, what could have been with Christian Cage in the world title contract, what could have been with Adam Copeland in the world title picture. So big picture, no, we would have rather seen Christian with the world title about a month ago, right? But we've kind of moved past that, I guess. So for where we're at now, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I moved past it. I agree with you, though. Yeah, I think that's the direction to go. It's the more, I guess, is the most common sense direction to go from here. So right. I'm with it.
Also at Dynasty, one other big moment, MJF and the Hurt Syndicate kind of going back and forth. MJF helping them retain their tag titles against Big Bill and Brian Keith. Do you want to see MJF with the Hurt Syndicate or against them?
I'd rather see him against them.
Yeah.
Because essentially, in my mind, like, there hasn't been a proper reestablishment of MJF's character. He's not necessarily a faction guy. He's not a tag team guy. Like we've done all that, and it's been kind of fun, like with him and Adam Cole when it was good,
Yeah.
But I don't need to see this. I don't understand the motivation other than like, oh, they can help him get to the world title. Yeah, but then are we just going to give up on Lashley being a singles competitor? Like,
For
is that
sure.
what we're doing?
For sure.
I don't really dig that. I'd rather see him have conflict with them, an eventual match with Lashley and Benjamin or something like that, and then we just move on from there.
Yeah, for me, there's a couple of reasons I don't love it nor understand it. Number one, all due respect to the Hurt business or Hurt Syndicate. Oops, I did it.
Syndicate, watch out.
Yeah, oops, I did it. But all due respect to the Hurt Syndicate, we've seen MJF as world champion. He's been the guy. They've done nothing in AEW. So why am I to believe that they can help MJF?
Exactly.
MJF has been the guy, has been the world champion. So and this isn't a disrespect to Hurt Syndicate. I love them as a faction, but in the AEW world, why am I to believe that they have the power to get him to the world title when they haven't done anything other than the tag titles in AEW and MJF has been world champion? It should be the other way around. We need you in the Hurt Syndicate because of the star you are. Is the way
Right.
this should be framed. I'd rather see them against each other. MJF and the Hurt Syndicate, they just have clashing characters that would work perfect for a feud. And the other thing I don't love about this, it's another rehash of the same MJF storyline.
Yeah.
Can we trust them? Do we trust them? So on and so forth. And it's like, come on. You know what I mean?
We've been there, done that already. Yeah.
Like every other feud, it's, oh, he's going to be our partner. Do we trust him? Oh, he turned on us. He's going to be in our group, the inner circle. Do we trust him? Oh, turned on each other. It's the same thing. We want to work with you. And someone's like, you can't trust them.
That says a lot that we're going all the way back to the inner circle.
Right? That's pandemic times, man.
Yeah. We're talking crowdless shows here. So yeah.
And they're still, they did it with Adam Cole.
Yeah.
They did it with Adam Cole. They tried, they turned him into a baby face and then they didn't. And let's all remember last summer, he came back as a baby face and then he wasn't. And here we are again, the Hurt Syndicate, we can trust him. And now he's going to turn on each other. Like it's the same thing with MJF. So no, I'd rather see them against each other. MJF versus Bobby Lashley, sign me up for that.
Oh yeah, all day.
Just push that story. I don't need this whole, is he in the group? Is he out of the group? Do we trust him? Been there, done that. Move on.
Because ultimately that doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's not the story that needs to be told there.
Lastly, from Dynasty, the Women's Owen Hart Cup, Mercedes Moné won her match. You also have Athena in this bracket, Harley Cameron, Chris Statlander, Thunder Rosa, Billy Starks, Jamie Hayter. Toni Storm retained her title against Megan Bayne. The winner of this tournament will challenge Toni at All In. Who do you want to see in this match?
I think your money is your money, no pun intended, is Monet and Toni Storm.
Yeah.
That's your marquee match. What if you to do anything other than that is dancing around the issue for no reason.
Yes.
That's your match.
100%. And I would normally hate that because it's like, okay, we're putting every single title that exists in wrestling on her. And at this point, it doesn't mean anything. No, this is your match. It's your biggest show of the year. They're your two biggest women's stars consistently. You could do title for title if you want, or you can have a story where she has a really bad summer and she starts losing all of these titles, including her shot at Toni Storm in July. But Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné is 100% the way to go. But Toni Storm has to retain in that. You have to.
Oh, yeah. She has to. She has to. And she had a great match too at Dynasty. I love the whole Rocky inspired thing with Luther dressed as Mickey. It was good stuff. I loved it.
It was great. I mean, and to do that with someone like Megan Bayne, who I'm a fan of, they have something good there.
What I liked about that match is it was like it still protected Megan Bayne's character in the sense of Toni Storm survived that title defense. She didn't just beat her clean. It was like you barely got through. Like that one count pin after she hit all her offense on her.
Yes.
That was great. That was perfect.
Yeah. They've done a nice job there. I think Megan Bayne is what they thought Camille was going to be when Camille was with Mercedes. But they've handled it very well with Megan Bayne. We'll see what the follow-up is, though, because that's been the issue with the women's division. someone challenges for the title, whoever loses just disappears, right? Like they don't push more than 2 to 3 people in the women's division at once. So now that Megan Bayne has lost this match, she's not in the bracket for the Owen Hart Cup. So are we going to get a follow-up with her, or is she going to be disappearing for another couple months? And then we're going to forget that, oh, by the way, she was on pay-per-view with Toni Storm and she looked great. I think, I know Bubba Ray was out there saying she looks green. Of course she is. She's younger, but she's got a big it factor to her that they could run with if they do, but they have to follow up with this, even though she lost. And you said it perfectly. Toni survived. Like, this is so easy to follow up with. Megan Bayne's character has not been hurt one bit from that loss. Yep. All right, let's run into WrestleMania season. All right, we got Run the Gauntlet, WWE headlines, Vegas, WrestleMania 41, just a couple weeks away. And let's start with the main event. Yes, it's the only main event. I'm going to be that guy to say it. There is one main event. It is one WrestleMania, and it is Cody Rhodes and John Cena. How do you feel this build has been for this match?
I think surprisingly it's been poor.
Yeah.
I think it's been poor. No offense to the overseas crowds. I think that's part of what hurt the build to this event is the WWE had their overseas tour during the midst of this, and great crowds, great atmosphere, but the show was more about how wild the crowds are versus the quality and content of the show. And Cena has just been, he's been a body with a microphone. That's it. There's nothing going on except for that one last promo he cut. Now we don't get to see him until WrestleMania. Where's The Rock, by the way?
Yep.
What's the reasoning behind Cena joining with The Rock? We never got that.
Right.
Cody's been carrying this on his back, and it's like, dude, okay, this is not at all what I signed up for.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a spoiler to a lot of what I'm about to say when it comes to WrestleMania. A lot of the builds, the matches are gonna be good. The show is gonna be good. But a lot of the build for these matches, every single one of them have a big hole, one way or another. And 100% this is it here. Agree. Yep. And this is it for this one, right? Where is The Rock? This was the big story. John Cena and The Rock together, and we have not seen them in the same ring together since Elimination Chamber. On top of that, John Cena comes out, cuts a 20-minute promo, and then we don't see him for the rest of the show. He's only there for Raw, doesn't show up for SmackDown. Cody's barely been there. Neither one has had a match. Neither one has had anything to push this story behind. They've had in a month since Elimination Chamber, they've had 60 minutes worth of promo to build a whole WrestleMania. That's it.
No.
And it's just not there. The last segment was the best. Their back and forth was great. Cody laying out Cena was great. But the fact that was the only bright spot for the entire build, and we still haven't seen The Rock, this build, there is zero hype for this match for me. I'm sure the match will be great. I'm sure WrestleMania will be great. There is zero hype compared to what we thought it was going to be at Elimination Chamber in Toronto.
No, I agree 100%. I think that's going to be the encapsulation of this WrestleMania event. This 2-night event is the matches and the execution is going to be great. The event's going to be awesome. The buildup has been super poor. So, all up and down the card, basically. For all your biggest matches, the buildup has been bad.
So let's go to the other main event. All due respect to CM Punk, but main eventing night one is not main eventing WrestleMania. But I love the meaning. If it gives him a WrestleMania main event on his resume, I'm all for it. Fine. Paul Heyman's favor, though, ends up being to be in CM Punk's corner for the triple threat against Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. What do you think that means for the result, and also your reaction to that favor?
It's underwhelming.
Yeah.
I don't know what I specifically expected, but I expected more than that.
Sure.
What does that mean for the match? Outside of just the obvious, he comes out with Punk, stands in, we're going to have the camera shots of him being conflicted of when he's rooting for Roman, rooting for Punk.
Yeah.
That kind of thing I expect to happen, which will add to the drama. But outside of that, what happens? Is he going to get in there? Is he going to pull Roman off the pin, or what's the deal with it?
This has been the best build match of WrestleMania for sure, but that favor for Paul Heyman was definitely a letdown. It makes no sense. Why is that a favor? Why didn't Paul Heyman know what the favor was? I'm sorry. I thought he was a better negotiator than that, to be like, hey, I don't know what the favor is. You tell me. I thought it was, if you help us in War Games, I got you this. You just let me know when you want it.
He just blindly agreed to like, yeah, whatever it'll be, I'll say yeah. Like back in November.
Right. By the way.
Like,
and then if you're
okay.
CM Punk, all you want is him in your corner for a match that is going to be great, but isn't for a title. You don't win anything for it. How is that a favor? It's Paul Heyman. The power and stroke that they build that he has, that CM Punk could have cashed in on favors, and this is it. 100% underwhelming, but I will say this whole story, Seth Rollins is going to win this thing.
He has to at this point.
100%.
And I think that the Paul Heyman factor is going to be what causes the slip up for either Punk or Roman, and then they're going to blame each other. They're going to blame Paul. You're going to have that feud continue.
Which is fine. I'm okay with that. Roman Punk feud is awesome.
That. Yeah.
And I would love that for Seth, because it's definitely been all about Paul Heyman, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. It's like, oh, by the way, Seth Rollins is a star. Dude's all over the place.
Seth Rollins has been the EO Sky in this situation.
Thank you. And we'll get to that. In fact, let's just jump to that right now. Triple threat. Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, EO Sky. How do you feel when it comes to how this all kind of been together?
It's been a mixed bag. It's been good and it's been kind of dumb. Like I like the way it ended this past Raw where EO got her one up on both. I'm like, dude, good. Talk your shit, EO. Like seriously, like you're the champ, dude. You've been treated as like a third fiddle this entire time.
Yeah.
I don't like the way Rhea got shoehorned into this. I know it's like, well, you got to suspend disbelief. It's for this. Yeah, but it's stupid.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make any sense. And again, it serves to this WrestleMania being, we got to get everybody on the card, whether it makes sense or not.
Right. And that's where it's like, okay, Bianca's only in this match, or I should say EO's only in this match because of Naomi. And they wanted to get Naomi on the card. And what I mean by that is it should have been Bianca versus Jade. Okay.
Yes.
But they went Jade and Naomi. And then it should have been Rhea versus Bianca. That's it. And they could have put EO Sky with the IC title, the US title. She has more than enough credibility to give those titles some love on a big show like WrestleMania. But they wanted to keep her important. And like you said, the way that she's been treated in this story, EO Sky's going to win this thing.
Absolutely. I'd be surprised if she doesn't.
Right, because
she absolutely is. I agree with you the way I agree about Seth Rollins.
Yes, it's the same. It's literally the same story. Everything's about Roman and Punk, so Seth should win. Everything's about Bianca and Rhea, so EO should win, even more so because there's a title involved. Because two reasons. Number one, why did we do all this just to put the title back on Rhea? And then when it comes to Bianca, she's got her whole thing with Jade and Naomi. So why are we going to put a title on her right now? Because we're just going to, pivot to that after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of EO being a title holder. She's a placeholder, I should say. Yeah. I like her being a title holder.
Yes,
I don't like her being a placeholder. Especially leading to this match, I think it's just a waste of her talent if that's all they're going to do.
Right. Let's go to the other women's title. Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair had a very interesting back and forth on SmackDown. Where is your worry level when it comes to Tiffany's push in this match with Charlotte Flair after WrestleMania? Win or lose aside, is this going to hurt her push to the top?
They may have to switch brands. I don't know. They have to do another what do they call it, the transfer window.
Oh my gosh.
I'm already expecting this match itself to be Brock and Goldberg in WrestleMania 20. It's just, there's going to be a lot of like, let's get to it, what are we doing, a lot of shit talking. It's going to be I think the match, the two of them together can put on a pretty solid match. I just don't know, given what everything is, I don't know if that's what we're going to get with them.
For me, I came into this and I actually, and way back when, and you'll remember, I chose Charlotte to win the Royal Rumble. And I thought Charlotte Flair was going to be the perfect person to elevate Tiffany. It was the perfect WrestleMania match. So this was right. But then ever since we've seen how the story is being told, and all due respect, because I know Charlotte's been through a lot over the last year, she is not the person that wants to put over younger talent. And you can see it. Because that promo on SmackDown, say what you will about what Tiffany said and whether it was whatever, should she have said it, whatever. That promo on SmackDown was so awkward because Charlotte was more focused on going back and forth with the crowd than she was Tiffany. And there's no attention on Tiffany to give her time to shine. right? Like, I'm going to feed it to you, make it happen. This is very much John Cena and old Roman Reigns, right? Where John Cena didn't believe in that. This is actually, no, this is John Cena Austin Theory 2 years ago.
Oh,
and
perfect.
Charlotte Flair is trying to do the same thing. And she's trying to look at Tiffany and say, you're not it. And she is treating her like that this entire story. And the other caveat is Charlotte comes out and she's very honest and vulnerable with everything she's been through. Even I know she's the heel, but everything she's been through, the divorce and the injury and so on. So how are you going to have someone be vulnerable like that and then lose? And that's my worry. So we're just doing all this to build up Charlotte again, is what it feels like.
Yeah, I agree. And I expect her to win this match. I think that's but then so to go back to your initial question, that worries me about the fallout from it for Tiffany Stratton.
Right.
Do we have to put her on Raw so that she can blend in with that women's group and do something in that division? Does she end up just falling into a feud with Chelsea Green, which I think is kind of two of the same character?
Right.
So I don't know. And then what's the projection for Charlotte as champion from that point?
Sure. And that's where the confusion comes in. And this is where, okay, Charlotte, you're at a point you need to be lifting the younger talent. And it just doesn't feel like you've done that in this story. It feels like Tiffany has not gained anything from being in this. It actually feels like it's gone backwards for her being in a story with Charlotte Flair. Jey Uso, speaking of someone that people are questionable when it comes to whether or not, he should be here. Are you sold on this story with Gunther now?
I'm a little more sold now than I was 3 weeks ago. But still, I don't. I have the same question with Jey Uso that I would have with Tiffany and Charlotte, in the sense of, where do you go once it's done? Yeah. If he is the champion, what do you do with either person? Is Jey believable to go against all these other competitors? And I don't know. I just, the build up again to this match has not been as solid as it should have been to justify him winning the Rumble.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm more bought into it now than I was 3 weeks ago.
I agree with you on that. It definitely kicked into another gear with the Jimmy Uso attack. Jey Uso's promo was great on Raw.
Yeah.
Problem is, you need to follow that up.
Yep.
Right? Like, you're going into WrestleMania, you give, and we know Jey Uso, that's never been a question. He gives great promos, very emotional. It fit what happened with Jimmy 100%. But now you need to follow that up with a similar like performance in the ring. And that's where the big question is going to come in, because I still believe, even though it's kicked into another gear, it's not hating Jey Uso. I actually say this because I like Jey Uso. I feel bad for him. I feel like they threw him into the fire when he was not ready. And now he's expected to make something of it. And meanwhile, fans can see right through that he's not ready yet. And that may turn people off of him. Jey Uso should win this match. He 100% should. But my worry is, what happens to him after WrestleMania? How soon do fans get sick of it because he doesn't belong? The Jimmy Uso angle 100% gave this the edge that this story needed. Is that enough to sell Jey Uso? It's not about getting Jey Uso to WrestleMania. It's not about Jey Uso getting through WrestleMania. It's everything afterwards that I'm worried about when it comes to Jey Uso, even if he does win. Let's go with Naomi and Jade Cargill. We mentioned it quickly earlier. How do you feel about heel Naomi? I know we wanted Bianca versus Jade. Has this been a little better than you expected, though?
Heel Naomi, yeah.
I
think she's doing a great job with this character switch. Again, I have no issue with the build up to this, other than I think it should. I agree, and I think a lot of people thought it was going to be Bianca and Jade, which is what we all kind of wanted. But we got this. And I think that, given what it is, Naomi's been doing a great job with the character switch, being a heel.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill's doing fine. Again, the question is, her in a singles match with there's no Bianca there to cover for her. There's no tag team.
Right.
You do your part. The other person does theirs.
Yeah. Naomi has proven that she can play the heel. She's done it very well. I agree. Everyone, I wanted Bianca and Jade, but Naomi has made the most of this time, whether you like that she got it or not. I love the caution tape as her gear. I love the promos have been great. But yes, this is all about Jade Cargill. She's in a very similar situation as Jey Uso when it comes to WrestleMania, because you said it. She's been in a tag. She was in a trio and a tag team her entire run in WWE. And now her first singles feud is for WrestleMania. It's as big as it gets. And this is make or break for Jade, because if she doesn't go out there and sell this match with Naomi at WrestleMania, this could kill whatever else they think is in her future for the women's division and Jade Cargill, because this is it. And you got to be able to, kind of shine on your own. She has the look. She has the promo. She has a lot of what you need in the star. You just need the execution and the follow-up in the ring. And that's kind of where it's going to be make or break for her at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Let's go 2 more title matches that were actually confirmed this week. Intercontinental title, fatal 4-way, Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio. How do you want this to play out?
I want Braun Breaker to retain.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes sense. I like, as much as I like Penta, I don't think it's his time yet to get a singles title.
No.
I think that's a little down the line, maybe more towards the summer. It'd be fine. Right now, there hasn't been a lot of build on Braun Breaker with this title. It's just been, there he is. The dogs are barking, whatever. And it's like, cool. The thing that comes out of this is, one, he has to retain. You got to keep building him up to build up that title with him. You can get your dissension of Judgment Day with Finn versus Dom. That's going to eventually happen.
Right.
And then Penta will just go on being great doing Penta things, and that we'll be fine with that. And it's just, I don't know. Again, this is another match where it's like everybody has to get on the card, and here we are. I just want Braun Breaker to retain.
Shout out to the multi-man matches. Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker should definitely retain. I blame Logan Paul when it comes to this, because they needed something for Logan Paul, and they gave Logan Paul AJ Styles. But if you remember, a few weeks prior, Braun Breaker and AJ Styles had a stare down, and it felt like there's your WrestleMania, and that would have done a lot more for Braun Breaker. You cannot put Braun Breaker in this multi-man match and then have him lose it. Right? It's already a downgrade for him to be in this multi-man match, and that's no disrespect to anyone in the match. It's just a fatal 4-way is always going to have a little less steam than a one-on-one feud, especially someone the caliber of AJ Styles. Braun Breaker should have had AJ Styles for WrestleMania. He's got this. It'll be great. The match is going to be great, but Braun Breaker 100% needs to retain to kind of make up for what could have been for him this year at WrestleMania. Also, he had a stare down with Gunther a few months back that a lot of people thought they were going to run with, and they never did. Lastly, U.S. title. Jacob Fatu is getting a shot against LA Knight. Is it too soon to put this title on him?
No, the iron's hot.
Yeah.
The iron's hot, dude. This is it. Because what else does he do?
Yes.
Like you can only have him beat Braun Strowman so many times. You can only have him yell at Solo and Tama Tonga backstage so many times. Right. LA Knight has been solid, but we've topped out. I think we've leveled out with LA Knight as champion. We've hit the peak, and Jacob Fatu the fans love him. I mean, overseas and here in the States, he's getting crazy reactions.
I'm with you on that, but if it also goes this way, then I go, why'd we take it off Shinsuke? We could have had another multi-man match that Jacob Fatu won, right?
I mean, at this point, though, dude, it's like the overall mood is like, Shinsuke who?
That's where they're at. And now you're bringing Malachi Black, Ray Phoenix in. Like, Shinsuke is definitely going to go down the depth chart. But I'm with you. Jacob Fatu should win this. It's very ironic that he's going against LA Knight, somebody who they refused to strike while the iron was hot so many times until they actually did. So Jacob Fatu is like, hey, don't make the same mistake. This dude is red hot. He's not near the world title picture right now. This keeps him very relevant. It could set up a feud with him and Solo, and the story is kind of right there. LA Knight doesn't need this anymore, which is why I did not think he should have beat Shinsuke a couple weeks ago to begin with. You could have just went straight from Shinsuke to Jacob Fatu if that's the route you wanted to go. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. Jacob Fatu needs to retain at WrestleMania. He's as over as possible with the crowd.
I agree. Yep.
Roar Around the Ring is available. Find us on YouTube at Roar Around the Ring, all over social media at JV Around the Ring. We'll be back at you in a couple weeks after WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. He's that dude, Daryl Teeler. I'm Justin Valentine. Talk to you guys very soon.